gorgeous Earth and I fam. So grateful to be back for another flow. Welcome. In case you don't know, my name is Shayna, and this is just a love sharing space that we're so blessed to share with each other, and I'm extremely grateful for you guys. I can never say it enough. I truly just am in awe of the way that you guys are connecting and the comments and the story submissions that I'm getting, and just seeing such beauty in each and every one of you, and the freedom that you have to express yourself is truly inspiring. And this video today is going to be focused on, we're going to talk about success and how that definition is fluid, and we have such power in our lives to really define that for ourselves and figure out what that truly means, instead of attaching so hard to norms and what we've been conditioned or limited in believing and seeing about this whole idea of success. And that's just kind of going to be the basis. As always, I just kind of let it flow as best as I can. And again, before I start this video, I just really want to set the tone for recognizing the depth of success, and how no matter what you see outside, that success is a deep, deep connective state. And each of us have the power to move what limits this growth and to expand in a new way. And I wish that for each and every one of us, and I know it's possible. Also, I did not get a new microphone, so be gentle. I'm using these JBLs. I'm looking at the Rode microphone. If you guys have any suggestions for new mics, I'd love to hear from you guys about that, because I've done some exploring, but I'm also not too picky, but I realize it's a very important tool that I'm using. So that's what I'm thinking, but I couldn't order it because I'm getting a new card. That's where I'm at with that, though. I love you guys so much, and I love being able to share like this, and that is a perfect way to kind of snowball into this idea of success. Many a times success can be chopped down to material, tangible possessions, material success, wealth, and ways that we can showcase that out in the world. Now, it's a choice whether your root of success is internal or it's external. And basically what that means is that you have to pick. You have to be able to consciously direct your attention toward one place so that it can flourish. It's kind of like seeds. You can't just like sprinkle seeds and then pick them up and keep moving them all over the place. You have to just plant them, let them grow, and move on. I learned how the definition of success changed from the early 1900s to the early 2000s. And in the 1900s, it was like something along the lines of success was defined as, this was Webster's dictionary, high moral standards, very content in their well-being, health and safety, abundant growth and connection. And in the early 2000s, it might have been even the 90s, the definition was high material rewards, wealth, very known status. And to see the same word change so rapidly is very representative of the attention of the collective, where energy has been and consciousness has been so directed on money and things, and those beautiful things in this experience. The only thing that can be harmful and damaging is when we're choosing to focus on that so much. Again, though, maybe that's your route to success. Maybe that is how you can really grow and flourish. What I want us all to be aware of is that there's so many endless definitions. It's not just one definition. And even though that book had one singular definition, I think that's also powerful to reflect on, because it's like, that is the collective definition. And what happens when you start waking up, when you start growth, you begin defining things for yourself. And that is one of the most powerful things that we can do, instead of just going along with what we've been told is the definition, what we've been told is the meaning. And it doesn't mean we completely write those things off either, but we allow our wholeness to interpret them in a way that is best serving to us. The definition of success is going to change over somebody's life multiple times. It's just a matter of how willing are we going to be to go along with that change. As you grow, as you mature and you get older, it changes. And it's not changing in a good or bad way or in a linear way. It's not like, oh, when you get older, you know, it just starts kind of changing like this. Like, no, it's like, because I feel as though we each go through periods of time where it's like we can feel extremely old. I don't define old by the body, by the number that you hold over your head, you know, by your age. Sometimes we can feel extremely young and vibrant, and when we're in that state, success is going to mean something different. It's changing constantly, though it is very important to have a steady foundation for all these fluctuations to happen on. Success can also be defined as fulfillment. When you're fulfilling a purpose, a perspective, a goal. And we all have different perspectives on that as well, which is gorgeous. One example is that we all have a life purpose. We have this goal that is the overarching theme of our lives. And all of our experiences, connections, all kind of point us in that direction of fulfilling that goal, that purpose that can be described as our life goal, our life's work that is given to us from above. God gave us this unique blueprint, and there's this overarching theme or concept that we really need to master in our lives. And if we're moving with that, success can mean fulfilling that purpose in the fullest way possible, in the best way possible, in the most conscious way possible. Embodying commitment to that. And I kind of want to discuss real quick where the downfalls can be with success. When people are chasing success, you inevitably are losing yourself. Because when you're chasing anything, the chase, it's exciting. We can't lie about that. It's exhilarating, it's fun, it's not fulfilling. It is kind of like a bottomless pit that we find pleasure in. And it doesn't mean that we don't have to work hard, we don't have to commit ourselves to things. But when it's like we're constantly chasing, we're not creating the space to just sit with what we have and reflect on the beauty that we've already attained. People save that for when they're 80 years old, like looking back on their life. We can do that right now. And I'm not meaning that to sound any kind of way, but I do believe that society has conditioned us to keep going so fast that we're not trained to slow down and appreciate the beauty of our lives, no matter what possessions we have, no matter how our success may be defined on the linear scale. And when we get too caught up in that, we're just trying to attain success. We forget that success is just a state. It's not a thing, it's not a possession. Though we may define it as such, absolutely, we have to realize that there are endless bouts of that. There are many forms of success in our lives. And when we start opening our attention in that way, so much more appreciation. We're grateful. We are appreciative of the amazement that we can accomplish, the courage that we can hold, the space that we can create to expand upon the fullness of our lives. It's such a tricky thing because everyone wants success, no matter how much one is willing to admit it. It's human nature to be in that state of utter fulfillment and contentment for ourselves, for the people around us. And the more that we can open up and accept that truth and realize that our path is going to look different than somebody else's path, that we might not check all the boxes that we've been conditioned and burned in our brain to check, that's when we can really start living in fullness. And then we have the capacity to build this chain link fence around us that really limits our ability to truly succeed, to truly fulfill paths in our lives that are calling to us, because we're so focused on, finding that thing, accomplishing that thing. And it's all okay. It's always okay. But it's never too late. It is truly never too late, and it's never too early. The order of success isn't necessary. It's not this kind of like, you have to do this, then this, then this. You absolutely need foundation and building blocks. But from there, going where you're truly called, that is utter success. What more can you do than be with yourself right now and go where you feel like you need to go? Go where you know you need to go. A deeper knowing, not just in the brain, a deeper knowing. That's the key to no regret. I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about regret and just sharing that with one another. And it really did hit me that I will never regret something that I make in conscious clarity. When you are making a decision and you are fully conscious, you're accepting the fear, you're feeling everything, and you make a decision there's no room to regret, because you saw everything, you saw all the options. And constantly making that a practice, habitual, that is exemplary living, full, everything. And that beauty is what we're all worthy of. Finding ways that we can kind of crack the code of our internal states, and oh my gosh, these I feel like a little Dumbo. Please let me know how the audio is as well. But when we can crack these states that kind of kept us limited, a lot of times there's safety nets as well. It's not always about the success, it's also about the safety. They go hand in hand. And finding that common ground for those themes in our lives are taking us to higher places. It feels really good to talk about success right now, because I'm definitely in a very wonky period in my life in terms of my big foundations are really changing. I'm really discovering new paths that I'm being called to explore. And I realize that so much of those choices are coming back to how I feel about success, and how you can't also deny the things that will bring you fulfillment, whether it is material possessions. The more that you deny that truth of that calling to you, the harder the path is going to be. It's just that realization that it's the journey and the destination are like this. They're together. They're equal. They're balanced. Yes, it's all about the journey, but you also have to have these destination points that are helping you along the journey, that are giving you some kind of direction. And the more that I can redefine that for myself and see that redefinition in other people, it makes me so emotional, because everyone in my life is successful. Everyone in my life is beautifully fulfilled in deeper ways that we can even fathom. And the more that we can support each other in that truth, rather than holding each other to these unreal expectations and these check marks and these barriers to entry the realm of full abundance, the more we're gonna experience that in our relationships and our self-reflection and all those kind of things. And I want you to know that you're successful. You are fulfilled in the highest realms ever. It's just a matter of really waking up to that, accepting that truth, and sitting with the things that have kept you from that truth. And then taking conscious action to more and more bring that truth into play in your life. One moment at a time, one decision at a time, and seeing the connection among where you're drawn, what really lights you up, what makes you happy, what you want to give. It's a lot of things come back to what you want to give. that's a good practice for figuring out material possessions that you want. What do you want to give to your greatest loved ones? And it can be materially, physically, emotionally, space-wise. What do you want to hold the space for them to heal or for them to talk about? And it's just an endless bot of beauty, beauty, beauty that we can truly try on for ourselves. It's not a one-size-fit-all whatsoever. It's just this overarching concept that we've come to understand as success. And we're all bound for it. We're all worthy of it in the most massive and unfathomable ways ever. But it just starts with, it's already started. It just continues with love, gratitude, and true reflection, and eliminating those barriers. I mean, there's a bunch of things. How dare I try to sum it up like that? But that's really going to wrap up my flow today. Kind of feel like I lifted something off my chest, and I hope you can feel that way as well. It's not this mission to have figured out. It's not that, it is that easy, but it's not that easy. Super grateful for these new ideas, these sharings, these explorations with each and every one of you, with myself, with my family, with my loved ones. And what I wish for myself, I wish for you as well. And I know that we're all worthy and capable of it. And it just takes our true strength and bravery to be willing to walk a new path, to embody a new idea, to explore and, attract a new experience, a new entire state. And it ain't one size fits all, baby. It really is not. It's your size fits you. Your state is there for you, your path for you. And everyone else can say the same thing. It's gorgeous. And when we get to love people in that way, it just elevates everything. You're not loving conditionally. You're not loving with expectation. You're loving for love. You're loving to see somebody's unique manifestation and flourishment in this life. That's the ultimate gift that any of us can hold and have and see. Most importantly, that we can see it. All right, my dear ones. I would love to hear from you guys, as always. Love, love, love reading what you guys say. I had a question saved that someone had asked, like, it was like, do you believe in, going after new frequency, or do you kind of believe in sitting back and letting it happen, working on it, meditating on it? And I just remember when I read that, I was like, dang, I'm going to be honest. I see both. I truly see both. And when my own personal states are fluctuating, I see different approaches as more plausible, more aligned. And there was another comment I had seen about someone asking about a video or something, like requesting a video. So I'm an open book, you guys. I would love to have those discussions, even maybe a Q&A sometime in the future. But I love the conversations that you guys are having too. Like, dream come true, truly. Love, so much love here at the Earth and I. And yes, my dear ones, stay true, stay you. Until next time, may success be with you.